Egypt's president and the King of Jordan have both said that they won't take in displaced people from Gaza like you suggested. Is there anything you can do to make them do that? I mean, tariffs against those countries, for example?
They will do it. They will do it.
What makes you say that?
They're going to do it. Okay? We do a lot for them, and they're going to do it.
Mr. President, you've offered...
Welcome to Khanversations. I'm Muqtedar Khan, your host, and today I'm going to talk to you about Donald Trump's latest threat to the Middle East. He is basically going to screw Egypt and Jordan, and I think they deserve it. They have been loyal servants of Israel for more than 20, 30 years. Egypt has been a loyal servant of Israel for more than 50 years, has been taking payments from the United States consistently every year. And today it appears that Donald Trump is going to extract some kind of, shall we say, quid pro quo from Jordan and Egypt beyond what they had initially agreed to with regards to Israel. Jordan had given up its rights to basically West Bank, and Egypt had given up its right to Gaza in exchange for peace and a lot of funding. And of course, they also agreed not to take any actions and not to collaborate with other countries who were trying to campaign against Israel for Palestinian rights. So they have been loyal servants, and now Donald Trump is insisting that he's going to move 1.5 million people out of Gaza to Jordan and Egypt. And that has come as a huge shock to people. This is ethnic cleansing, okay? Yes, he's not going to kill the Palestinians like Biden and Netanyahu did, but he's going to move them to basically Jordan and Egypt, and in that process, killing Palestinian aspirations for an independent state. What is troubling is as to why he says 1.5 million. And so we'll talk about that. But before that, please subscribe to Khanversations, like this video, press the bell icon, and share this video with your socio-political network. So as you have heard from this video that I shared, Donald Trump is confident that Egypt and Jordan, who have, when they heard this first statement, they clearly said they are not taking any refugees from either Gaza to Jordan or to Egypt. But Trump is confident. When a reporter asked him that, what will you do? Will you impose tariffs? I mean, I don't know what tariffs you can impose. What is Egypt exporting and what is Jordan exporting? All he can do is he can cut aid. So if you look at the list of countries which receive the most U.S. foreign aid, number one is Israel, 3.3 billion. These are regular quotas, okay? So the biggest recipient in the past 2-3 years has been Ukraine. And the U.S. government does a very good job of trying to hide. In fact, I had a very serious argument with one of the senators who was on my show about how the U.S. government is hiding how much aid actually goes to Ukraine. How much is the military aid? What is the financial support? What is humanitarian aid? They have all these different categories in which the general assumption is that the U.S. has given more than $200 billion to Ukraine. And the 2023 list that is available shows about like 17 or 18 billion dollars. Israel used to get $3.5 billion every year. That it was an agreement that Obama has signed, and it continued. It's a 10-year thing. But according to Brown University, in the last 1 year, for the military aid alone to Israel was close to $18 billion. So the U.S. has given about $20 billion in 2024 to Israel. So the biggest recipient is Ukraine, followed by Israel, 200 billion, 20 billion. And then the third place is Jordan with about 1.7 billion every year. And then Egypt with about 1.6. So technically, Jordan and Egypt get about the same amount of aid that Israel normally gets every year. So that is why these Arab countries are so-called part of the Abrahamic Accords. I mean, Egypt and Jordan signed treaties with Israel long before the Abrahamic Accords idea popped up, but they are part of that countries of the Arab world, which have, along with United Arab Emirates, Morocco, and Bahrain are the countries which have signed agreements and recognize Israel. So it is fascinating that now Trump is going to force them to do what they always feared and didn't want. I mean, Egypt has repeatedly said it will affect its relations with Israel if there was an attempt to push Palestinians from Gaza into Egypt. Now Trump is telling them, take them. Um, I think countries which take such huge amount of foreign aid from another country should not be considered as sovereign state. They are not sovereign. They are beggars. And beggars cannot be choosers. They have no self-respect, especially the dictatorial leaders, the king and the dictator. They go and take money from a foreign country and use that to pay salaries to their militaries so that they remain loyal to them. Every military person in the Egyptian army knows that if the dictatorship was dissolved, and then some elected person will come and the US aid will go away. So the whole elite is part of this bribe, basically, that they're taking from a foreign country, which means that they are serving the interest of the country which is giving them so much aid. That is what has happened. And Trump realizes that, look, they are dependent on our aid. I mean, Egypt is such a huge country, wants to be a very proud country. Its economy is in a bad shape, has been in a bad shape for a long time. Sisi has done nothing to improve the Egyptian economy. And then the war, with all the fighting between Houthis and its attacks on the shipping has really hurt Egypt in 2024 because the revenues that it generates from basically the rent collection that it does for ships that go through the Suez Canal went down significantly because tons and tons of the ships were going all around Africa as they did before the Suez Canal was built. So Egyptian economy is in trouble, and so is Jordanian economy. And these are basket cases, really. And without American money, there is going to be a lot of trouble in those countries. So I think if Trump simply stops aid to Egypt and stops aid to Jordan, I think they will bend the knee and there will be some kind of a compromise. I'm not sure whether they will be able to move all the people that Trump wants gone. What was troubling to me that by most estimates, Gaza's population is close to 2.5 million, or at least was at the beginning of the war. If we assume that close to 100,000 people have died, whose bodies haven't been discovered, those who have been documented, clearly anywhere between 50 to 100,000 people have died in Gaza during the war, have been killed, bombarded, thanks to American weapons and Israeli violence. So the population would go down from maybe 2.5 to 2.4 million. So why is he talking about 1.5 million? So it's probably the expectation is that if you move a large chunk of Palestinians out of Gaza, then Gaza will not be such a demographic threat to Israel, and Israel will find it much more easier to control and manage Gaza. I think that could be an assumption. But let me also tell you that this recipe, let's assume that even if Jordan and Egypt agree to this, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to be living in refugee camps just south of Gaza and just north of Israel in Jordan. And so it will be like another Lebanon with large refugee camps. These are not going to be people who are going to be settled in proper cities. They're not going to disappear in the Egyptian population. I mean, Egypt is a very populous country, between close to 100 million. And so if they take about like 1 million to Egypt, 500,000 to Jordan, I mean, they're not going to disappear. They're going to be concentrated somewhere. And there will be a security challenge to both Egypt and Israel. I won't be surprised that you will see Hezbollahs emerging out of these refugee camps. So if the Israelis and pro-Israeli people in the Trump administration think that this is a kind of a solution, I'm not sure. I think the only beneficiary will be Jared Kushner, who will simply take over the properties on the beaches in Gaza. He's already dreaming of building apartments and mansions, etc., and selling it to rich, the pro-Israeli people in this country. So it is an interesting development, and I think that this should be a lesson to Arabs who are like dying to wait for this war to get over so that they can sign up on the Abrahamic Accord. They can come down here and kiss Netanyahu's ass and then also go ahead and, bend the knee to Donald Trump, and they think that they will become great. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how UAE has benefited from the Abrahamic Accords. I don't understand. I understand what happened with Morocco. Morocco had a disputed territory in Western Sahara, I think, and the United States allowed them to legally annex that territory. So they basically, Morocco signed on to support Israel so that its own annexation became legal in the eyes of international law. But anyway, so I think that Egypt and Jordan are going to be in trouble, and I think they deserve it. They have taken billions of dollars from a foreign country, and now that foreign country is saying, okay, we have paid you billions of dollars for decades. In the case of Egypt, it is for half a century. Now they will have to pay for it with their land, probably. They'll have to probably create a new small province or a small city for 1 million Palestinians. Anyway, so every day is a new day. Someday Donald Trump is trying to annex Greenland the other day, and he's already beginning to see some failures. His entire federal funding cut for the domestic environment flopped. It was very clear that they didn't think it through. It was not executed well. It was not thought. I don't know why they're rushing with these things. And they had to withdraw that. So already one of his biggest initiatives, he had to withdraw because it was backfiring. So anyway, we will see. Who knows? Maybe even this idea may backfire. It hasn't yet become an order. He's just musing aloud. He must be creating panic in Amman and Cairo. So there must be a lot of, shall we say, back channel negotiations already going on between US, Egypt, and Jordan. I think he might get concessions. We'll see if Egypt has the guts to call his bluff. Anyway, so I hope you found this, well, I don't think you can find it interesting. It's just a depressing development. So please subscribe to Khanversations, like this video, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share this video with the rest of your socio-political network. Until next time, I'm your host, Muqtedar Khan. Thank you for watching Khanversations.